Hey everyone, it's Chantel. Since I got so many awesome reviews on the dark side of keto already, I thought, let's get a little bit further in that. So this is kind of like a spin off of that. That I kind of want to go into like the pros and cons of keto and low carb, as well as like common questions and um, misconceptions of keto. So there's a lot of information. I can't even get everything I want in here. So I'm going to make this as short as possible. Please listen to the whole thing because you might miss some really pertinent information. So just to go into this quickly, why you really lose weight on keto. Is it because you're in ketosis? Usually the answer is no. It's if you had an unhealthy lifestyle and you're switching to a healthier lifestyle, most people are going to lose weight. It's not because they're in ketosis. Although being in ketosis, it will allow you to lose more weight. But a lot of people, especially men that just switch from a bad diet to a good one, you're going to see that because you're eating less calories. Not that you shouldn't go keto, and we're going to discuss that later, but that's my first one. Do you need to count calories in keto? There's a lot of misconceptions in diets that no calorie counting. And what's nice about keto is, yeah, you can get away without counting calories. Actually, I don't count calories myself. How do you know if you need to count calories or not? Simple. If you're losing weight and you're doing a ketogenic or a low carb diet, don't worry about it. The second you're not losing weight or you get a stall, then you might need to check out the calories. What I think is more important that I personally count is I'm watching the ounces of protein I'm taking in versus and also the macros. Is I'm paying attention to how much carbs I'm eating. I pay attention to how many grams of proteins I'm taking in a day. That's my focus. So I know at dinner time when I sit down to eat my 8 ounces, 10 ounces of protein, I can eat until I feel full because I know 8 ounces, 10 ounces can only be so many calories. And then also some people can tolerate eating more calories of protein or more calories of fat than they can calories and carbs. Those numbers do break down in differently in our body. So when you may normally only be able to eat 1,200 calories or you gain weight, doing a ketogenic body and get it ketogenic into your body, you might actually be able to handle more calories that are from fat and proteins. So it's going to be different for every person. So keep that in mind. Also with ketogenic diets, the scale versus inches. In a ketogenic diet, you cannot pay attention to the scale. Always defer to inches. If you're losing inches, you're losing fat. The scale is going to take time to catch up to you sometimes. You're not always going to see it on the scale because you could be a little bit more fluidy. You could be retaining water. You could have had a little bit of sugar, inflammation. You could even be a little dehydrated, so you could even be a little lower than what you are. So if you're losing inches, the weight will come. So that's what you need to pay attention to. Ketogenic diets, fat versus muscle. This is the plus side of keto, is you're probably going to be dipping into your fat stores, not your muscle stores, because if you're getting adequate amounts of protein and you need to know how much protein you should be eating a day, then your body can break into your fat stores and utilize that rather than trying to go into its own tissue, because your body will try and break down your protein first. So if you're not eating enough protein, your body is going to break into its own protein tissues rather than the fat because it's not getting enough protein. This is extremely important. That's why other diets, you'll lose weight, but are you losing fat or muscle? It's a very controversial thing. How many carbs do I need to eat to lose weight and be low carb? It depends on every person. Some people can eat more carbs and they'll lose weight. Others simply can't. I have to usually do between 20 to 50 grams of carbs or less, or it doesn't work for me. Other people can eat several hundred a day and they're fine. They're going to continue to lose weight. So it's different for every person. So low carb, you have to be careful because that means a bunch of different things. Are you really in ketosis? there's only a couple ways to know you're really in ketosis. You have to be doing 50 to lower grams of carbs to be in ketosis, and you have to be careful because just a little extra sugar and you could be out of ketosis. You actually can get some of the like pee strips to really know if you're in ketosis or not, but most people who think they're in ketosis aren't really in ketosis. And it doesn't really mean it's that important. You don't have to be in ketosis unless that's what you're aiming for. But other than that, you're actually just low carb. You're not actually in ketosis. You could be eating the foods of a ketogenic diet. But to really know if you're in ketosis, that's actually a whole nother thing. Why would you want to do this diet? If you have trouble with inflammation, joint pain, if you're a sugar addict, if you're a binge eater, if you have a food addiction, this diet is going to help you eliminate those trigger foods that typically you are overeating in. It's going to stop those cravings. It's going to regulate blood sugar. If you are a diabetic, if you have troubles with blood sugar and regulating your blood sugar, this diet's going to be amazing for you, and it is going to help you lose weight because you're going to be stable, because you're going to be even kill. Your body's not going to be like, I'm starving, I'm stuffed. I'm starving, I'm stuffed. And you're not going to get in these ugly cycles that make you overeat. So you're going to learn how to not binge eat and be more level-headed. So that's why these things are good. Where I think people get a lot of misconceptions is for some reason we feel better to eat things if we put labels on it like organic, low carb, keto, high fat. We eat those things. Because pizza is pizza no matter how you hide it. I could fool myself and be like, well, I got it from Trader Joe's and it's organic. Well, pizza's pizza. You can't really change that. If it's pizza, it's pizza. Giving it a different label saying low sodium or lower sugar or, low fat, it doesn't change the fact that it's still pizza. So I think sometimes we fool ourselves or trick ourselves that this is the thing to do. But truth be told, in a keto diet or going low carb is you're typically just going to be eating healthier and better for your body, and you feel better eating this way. That's generally how I feel. And some people, like me, if you don't handle carbs that well, then you're typically going to eat better, eat less, and you're going to be healthier, and that's why this works, generally. So keto may or may not be good for yours. It may not be the best diet out there, but it works for me. It can work for you, and that's why you need to decide to do it. Just like keto, we're going to go back and forth. Eggs are good. Eggs are bad. Sugar is bad. Sugar is good. We thought fat was bad for a long time. We know that it's not now. We thought eggs were bad. Things are going to flip-flop, so you've got to decide that this is what's best for you, and you have to judge by how you feel, and can you make this your life? And there are times you might be low carb, you might be keto, you might be refeeds. You have to do what's right for your body and how you feel. That's why you're doing something. Don't just go keto because you're keto now or anything like that. You can even have transitions and periods where you're going in and out of ketosis, and that's fine too. But understand what you're doing, or don't say, well, I'm just keto. Well, you need to know the differences. So these are kinds of the pros and cons of everything that's going on in keto. There's a lot more I could have put in here, but I tried to keep it more specific. If you guys have some questions or anything you want me to talk about in a video, please put that down below. I know this has a lot of information, so I thank you if you listen to the whole video. Leave your comments and everything below, and I can do more Q&A depending on what you guys want to hear.